We're the Diecast guys, and here we have another video again.
And today we're reviewing the Nissan 350Z made by AUTOart.
I'm gonna do the exterior, and we start off with the front. It's beautifully detailed. We got the little Nissan badge. You can actually feel it, so popping out. And we have the Nissan on the license plate. We have that little plastic grill right there. And then we move on to this little bit right here. We have a little reflector. Yeah, we have a little reflector right there. And then go back to the front. And we have the headlight right there with the little turning signal illuminated in orange. And that's pretty much about it from the front. Now we move on to the left side, and we start with the very front. Again, that reflector right there I pointed out earlier. And we have a little flare on the wheel arch. It's a good detail. I don't know, this thing doesn't have suspension. So, yeah. If you wanted that, it doesn't have it. Then we move on to the wheel. We got that little gold / bronze little painted caliper, and we have the little disc inside. It's got that little chrome color, and we have the actual rim itself. It's got a little chrome color, and it's got a little Nissan badge right there. And the tires are pretty low profile. Not really, but I mean, pretty. Move on a little up, and then we have a little Z badge right here. You can kind of see a little glare of the silver. The camera can't pick it up, but it says Z. And then under that we have a little turning signal. It's a pretty good, cool detail. It's kind of popping out, so it's a tiny bit loose, but no, that's fine. Then we move on to the door place. We have a pretty good sturdy mirror, and also so you know how phones have those little protective cases that when it comes with it, this thing has a little tiny film right here to protect the mirrors. It's a good thing to have. And then we move on to the door. It's got this little cool handle. It's like silver / chrome. And you can't use your finger, but if you use the pointer, you can like slide the little tip in, and it will come out. That's a pretty cool feature. Then we move on to the back with the same wheel. It's got a tiny bit of a flare to the arch, and we had a little antenna there, but I'm pretty sure AUTOart was too authentic and like made it really flimsy. But they didn't make it strong enough, so it actually fell off when me and Connor were doing the unboxing video, if you've seen that. And then we'll move on to the back. We have the little tail light there. It's all red, normal. We have a little pretty sure that's a reflector. Yes. Right there, it's pretty long, just like the normal car. Then we have the little Nissan writing on the license plate, and then we have another Nissan badge up here. Also pops out, so you can feel it, and you can feel the tiny little engraving Nissan. So it's a pretty good detail. Then we move on to the bottom with the little metal plated exhaust pipes. They don't have any depth, but it's still a pretty cool feature. Then that's about it from the back. Nothing different from the right side other than the gas cap right here. And that's about it. Move on. Nothing else. Flaw I'd like to point out about this model is that the windshield wipers, they're pretty, I'm not even tugging at them with any force, and they're pretty loose. So I mean, if I actually put some force on it, it would probably snap. Also with the back, that thing doesn't really have any strength. It's pretty easy to around. So there's a flaw right there. Move on to the inside for Connor. Tell us about the interior.
Okay, so when you move into the interior, you'll notice that there is no steering wheel, and that's because this car is right-hand drive. So we'll move over to the right hand to start with that. Okay, so when you look at the right side, you'll notice the steering wheel with the perfectly crafted Z badge. There's also these 3 dials up here. So they're in yellow, which looks pretty cool. You also see these 3 pedals right here, so you know that there's a clutch. And then there's also a gear stick over here, which is obvious because there's a clutch. And then there's also some carpet, which has a nice texture to it. You also see these 3 dials up here. One of them's a boost dial, I know that. And then also there's some Z badged door sills, which look pretty nice. I also like the tan leather, which looks really great for the sport bucket seats. You can also see this handbrake right here, and a couple buttons down here, I'm guessing for starting the engine and stuff. There's also a radio and regular radio stuff here, compartment, and the interior doesn't have that much, but it's still a good interior. So what I like to think is the party piece on this car is the back hatch. I just really like it. It opens really nicely, and then you see this beautiful Z badge in chrome on some it looks like steel metal right here. It's a really big trunk with some carpeting, which I really like. And you can also see into the interior with it. And so the only annoying thing about this model, well, not the only thing, but one of the only annoying things with it, is that you have to turn the car upside down to get the hood to open. And you also have to hold it up with a penny. There we go. Okay, so when you see the engine, you can see this Nissan badge, and then it says V6 3.5, so it means it's a V6 3.5 liters, which is it's a nice engine. I like the way it sounds. Also, the engine has some depth. You can see the engine block here if you really look, and if you turn the car upside down, which I'm not going to do right now, you can see up through the hood. And another party piece of this model is the bottom. It's just like so exquisitely done with all this piping and stuff. It looks really nice. You can also see the steering here, the steering rod, and it says AUTOart with the AUTOart logo. 118 Nissan 350Z, or 350Z if you're in England.
So it's crafted in China too.
Yeah. And yeah, so the bottom of this car looks great. Oh, also you can see the chrome exhausts down here.
Now we move on to our unofficial news. We don't know if we're gonna make it official yet, but so, yeah, we looked at our times and we have like a lot of time now since we took out the cool wall, so we might add it on. And now the news. Connor, you're up.
Alright, so first we're doing some diecast news. I'm doing that. So AUTOart just put out this Pagani Zonda R. This one looks absolutely amazing. It's in the black, carbon fiber black and blue color, blue accents color, and it just looks really nice.
And now we move on to real car news, and Ferrari made a 458 Speciale A, and that thing can do 0 to 100 kilometers, which is like, I think it's like around 60 in 3 seconds.
Yeah, so that's pretty fast.
Pretty normal, but yeah. For like supercars. And also, I already have another news.
Yeah, the new Audi R8 looks really nice. Especially in this blue color. They've really changed the headlights to look really nice, and I just think it looks great.
Then move on to Lamborghini, and to me and Connor, this looks pretty ugly, but this is what they think the new hybrid car should look, supercar hybrid, super hybrid as I call it, should look like, and that pretty much looks revolting to me and Connor.
Yeah, it just doesn't look that great.
It doesn't look like a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I guess after the Aventador, Lamborghini just started going.
Yeah, with their looks.
Yeah.
Also,
we have the Huracan.
Huracan. Yeah, that doesn't look that
Maraca.
great. Yeah, like maracas. Also, Chrysler is now going to be stopping the SRT racing program. That's just like racing, like, just that kind of racing. And
Because
because I don't really know why.
Because they won a championship.
Yeah.
They won a couple of championships, and I think they were just like, we're too good for this.
Yeah, and so now the racing team's probably just going to be labeled as Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about it for the news.
And move on to the ending. Now to our conclusion. I know you guys are all sad because we're ending this episode. This car, it had good attention to detail. It had some flaws.
Yeah.
And some
overall
big ones,
pretty good though.
And some big ones with Connor breaking it.
We'll gloss over that.
And this ends our episode. We're the Diecast Guys. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel.
Also visit our website, www.thediecastguys.weebly.com.
You actually did it correctly. I was screwed up.
Bye.
Bye.